Hi, welcome to the land of biochemistry. Today I'm going to discuss one pathway. That pathway is essential to all the living organisms, whether this is bacteria, or the caterpillar, or the cockroach, or the plants, or the animals, or the human beings. This pathway is shared by all the organisms. And that is the reason partly we say we are the cousins of plants. Because what happens in the plants also happens in us. What happens in bacteria also happens in us. What is that wonderful thing that happens in us? And that is called glycolysis. That is called glycolysis. As the name indicates, glyco means glucose and lysis means breakdown. So simply the breakdown of glucose is called glycolysis. And it is also called Embden-Meyerhof-Parnas pathway. Embden-Meyerhof-Parnas pathway, EMP pathway. Alright, EMP pathway. These are the three difficult scientists. Embden-Meyerhof-Parnas pathway. Alright, and this pathway is shared by all the organisms. This pathway is essential to all the organisms. All the organisms get energy by the same pathway, and that pathway is glycolysis. Alright. Glycolysis is in just one line. If I say what is glycolysis, and if I say it in one line, why will you listen to the rest of the lecture? Well, let me discuss that. One line. One line has a deep meaning, and that one line is oxidation of glucose makes pyruvate. Oxidation of glucose makes pyruvate. Okay, and when this one line can be translated into 10 chemical reactions. 10 chemical reactions. But don't worry about those 10 chemical reactions. You will be learning by heart after listening to my lecture. Alright? This is not a lecture. This is discussion between me and you. Stay attentive. Talk. Concentrate. Just concentrate. Be with me. And something very fascinating is coming. And you will know how those all organisms are extracting energy from the glucose. Alright? Now, there are 10 steps. There are 10 steps. I can just narrate those 10 steps in just 30 seconds or maybe 1 minute. Glucose 6-phosphate, fructose 6-phosphate, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, dihydroxyacetone phosphate, from glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate to 3-phosphoglycerate, 3-phosphoglycerate to 2-phosphoglycerate, 2-phosphoglycerate to phosphoenol pyruvate, and finally pyruvate. That is a simple story. But what I will do in the coming 20 to 30 minutes, oh my god, that 20 to 30 minutes, just this line, the glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate, fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. That is cleaved to make glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. And glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate makes 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate makes 3-phosphoglycerate. 3-phosphoglycerate makes 2-phosphoglycerate, and 2-phosphoglycerate makes phosphoenol pyruvate, and the phosphoenol pyruvate makes pyruvate. That's simple. If it is that simple, then why the people write 30 pages chapter on it? That is the answer story. They're crappy people, talk a lot, but nothing comes into the significance. And what is the net output of this pathway? Just 2 molecules of ATP. ATP, adenosine triphosphate. We get just 2 molecules of ATP after this series of reactions. And all the living organisms are living because of these 2 ATPs. Right? One glucose molecule is gonna generate 2 ATPs. Okay? How this happens? And this is now real science. And this real science is important in understanding the big picture that I actually explained a while ago. So, you see here, let us start with the naughty boy, and that naughty boy is glucose. Right? He is very naughty. Why he is naughty? Because he don't want to enter into the cell. And even if it enters into the cell, it leaks out of the cell. It doesn't want to remain in the cell. And if something doesn't want to remain in cell, what we have to do? We have to trap it. We have to trap it. And that's what we do. The first step of glycolysis is the trapping of glucose. See that the first step of glucose is the trapping of glucose. But glucose is nutty boy. That's my pen is not working. And now, glucose is a nutty boy. It enters into the cell through glucose transporter. I explained that glucose transporter into the cell, but as it is nutty boy, it will leak out of the cell. So we have to contain it inside the cell, and the first step to contain it inside the cell so that it shouldn't get out is to trap it, and this trapping is called phosphorylation of glucose. Phosphorylation of glucose. Phosphorylation. And note it down, that should remain in your blood. Whenever the word phosphorylation comes, the enzyme is kinase. Enzyme is kinase. Alright? And whenever there will be phosphorylation, there will be the involvement of ATP. Right? There will be the involvement of ATP. Okay? So two things. This should be there in your blood all the time. And if they remain in your blood, then I think the rest of the biochemistry will be, a kind of lullaby, kind of sweet. Yeah, you will enjoy it. So phosphorylation, whenever the word phosphorylation comes, the enzyme is kinase. And the first step is the phosphorylation of glucose. And the glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate. The enzyme is glucokinase or hexokinase, because it is also an hexose. So glucose is the first step. Glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate. And in this process, ATP is converted into ADP, and the enzymes are glucokinase or hexokinase. I will explain the story of glucokinase and hexokinase. This is a very interesting story. They are very interesting creatures, right? One is some kind of magician, another is kind of a slow rat, right? We'll see how one is magician, another is a slow rat. And the enzymes, the glucokinase and hexokinase, yeah, and there is glucose 6-phosphate. I hope you understand, right? And this step, I'm placing star in here. This step is irreversible. This is the first step, which is irreversible. Okay. Now this glucose 6-phosphate is simply isomerized to fructose 6-phosphate. Okay, and the enzyme will be isomerase. So it's easy to remember. The glucose is aldose sugar and the fructose is keto sugar. So aldose sugar is converted to keto sugar. The enzyme is isomerase. So this was the first step and this was the second step. Now this fructose 6-phosphate again is phosphorylated, and this is the most important step in the whole of glycolysis. This is the most important step in the whole of glycolysis. The fructose 6-phosphate is phosphorylated, is again phosphorylated. Now the enzyme will be kinase. And that kinase is called phosphofructokinase, right? And we will say that PFK1. Okay, it's PFK, it's not JFK. Go and Google it, what is JFK, right? He was the President of the United States. So PFK, so you will remember now the PFK1, and again ATP will be converted to ADP, and this is the second step, which is irreversible. Overall this is the third step, but this is the second irreversible step in glycolysis. And the fructose 6-phosphate is converted to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Why bisphosphate? Why not diphosphate? Bi means two, while S means at separated places. Alright? So if the di will be coming, for example, in adenosine diphosphate, those two phosphates are attached together, right? But in bisphosphate, the phosphate, one phosphate is at carbon number 1, while the other phosphate is carbon number 6. That is why it is called fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Right? Now the fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is formed by the PFK1. And this sum of the fructose 6-phosphate, it is a tricky thing. Sum of the fructose 6-phosphate also makes fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. Fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. And this here again, ATP is used to make ADP. And the enzyme again will be now not PFK2, not PFK1, it will be PFK2. Right? And then this fructose 2,6 bisphosphate in fact activates PFK1. It activates PFK1. And this PFK2 is under the influence of insulin and glucagon. Right? Insulin and glucagon affects PFK2. Insulin activates PFK2 while glucagon inhibits PFK2. See here, insulin activates PFK2 while glucagon inhibits PFK2. Right? What is the meaning of it? In the well-fed state, we need to consume a lot of glucose. So, insulin will be there and the glycolysis will be running like a fast train. Okay? But if glucagon is there, glycolysis will be diminished. Right? In the fasting state, we don't want the glucose to be used as fuel in the muscles and the adipose tissue in the liver. But we want fatty acid to be decomposed, fatty acid to be broken down and oxidized. So glucagon inhibits PFK2. Inhibition of PFK2 will inhibit PFK1. And this step, that fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate, will be stopped in fasting state. Sometimes this becomes difficult for the students to understand this concept, but this is really very easy concept. What is the easy concept? This step, the conversion of fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is the key step in glycolysis. This is the rate limiting step in the glycolysis. Okay? If this step is fast, glycolysis will be fast. And if this step is slow, the glycolysis will be. So, this is clear. And this is the question often asked in the examination. What is the rate limiting step for glycolysis? The conversion of fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate in the presence of not JF Kennedy, rather PFK1. And that PFK1 is activated by PFK2, and PFK2 is under the influence of insulin and glucagon. Insulin speeds up this process, while glucagon slows this process. Fine? Yeah. Now we move forward. Fructose is 6 carbon. Glucose is 6 carbon. Fructose is 6 carbon. And if I want to chop this fructose into 2 parts, I just want to break this fructose into 2 parts. One will be the aldehyde part, the other will be the ketonic part. And we get 2 trioses. We will get 2 trioses. One is glyceraldehyde and the other is dihydroxyacetone. So the fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is cleaved by an enzyme which is called aldolase. Fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is broken down by the enzyme. See here, fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is broken down by an enzyme which is called aldolase. And we get one thing which is called glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, DHAP and G3P. Okay, and this DHAP is also interconverted to G3P, and the enzyme is again isomerase. Half of the glycolysis over at this place. Alright? So, this is clear. And this is the question often asked in the examination, what is the rate limiting step for glycolysis? The conversion of fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate in the presence of not JF Kennedy, rather PFK1. And that PFK1 is activated by PFK2, and PFK2 is under the influence of insulin and glucagon. Insulin speeds up this process, while glucagon slows this process. Fine? Now we move forward. Fructose is 6 carbon. Glucose is 6 carbon. Fructose is 6 carbon. And if I want to chop this fructose into 2 parts, I just want to break this fructose into 2 parts. One will be the aldehyde part, the other will be the ketonic part. And we'll get 2 trioses. We will get 2 trioses. One is glyceraldehyde and the other is dihydroxyacetone. So the fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is cleaved by an enzyme which is called aldolase. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is broken down by the enzyme. See here, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is broken down by an enzyme which is called aldolase. And we get one thing which is called glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, DHAP and G3P. Okay, and this DHAP is also interconverted to G3P, and the enzyme is again isomerase. Half of the glycolysis is over at this place. Alright? So half of the glycolysis is over here. And the remaining half is going to start, but before starting this, let me show you that 1 molecule of glucose makes 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Note it down, 1 molecule of glucose makes 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and that is very much important as regards the calculations for the energy for the ATP. Okay, now we start the story from the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, G3P, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate makes 1, now where we are going to get ATP, and ADP from glucose to pyruvate. But it's just a story.